What is the most difficult, yet possibly the most useful gift? December 18th, 2015. Last Sunday, while awaiting our guests for an early birthday supper, I was browsing through Facebook. Not too much unusual for a Sunday until I read this post. Chimney fell down, cabin filling with smoke. This was followed by a couple of photos of heavy smoke. Then a post about not being able to put the chimney back together. I began to worry. I had never met this person previously, but had chatted with her a few times on Facebook. I knew she lived somewhere between Piers and Edson. She had commented to me that her left side was a little weak. Just to make sure, I sent her a message asking if she was all right. No response. After waiting half an hour, I was getting more worried, so I posted on Facebook that I needed help to find out where Carmen lived. I was going to drive up and see if she was okay. After a while, comments and messages started coming in, including her cell number. I called, got her voicemail. I asked her to call me. No response. Now very worried, so I called 911 and asked for help. Eventually, the RCMP were able to locate her residence using her cell number. RCMP constable called me to let me know she was fine. I altered my post to say Carmen was fine according to RCMP, and then our company arrived, and I forgot about Facebook. 4 hours later, after our company left, I checked Facebook to see there were many comments in that string. I didn't even read them. I simply deleted the entire post. I did receive a private message from Carmen indicating she was pretty upset with me. No big deal. I simply apologized. Not the first person who's been upset with me. Next morning, I left very early for work and arrived at Carmen's while it was still dark. I started yelling toward her cabin, indicating I wanted to help put the chimney pipes back in place. Not sure how I was going to be received. Her dog barked loudly. Eventually, she opened the door and then wrestled her dog into his kennel. I reassembled the pipes, but it was a much bigger job than I anticipated. When the pipes fell down, the ends became bent and very difficult to fit back together. I completed the job in about an hour, including wiring the pipes in place so they would not come apart very easily. So the ice was broken, and we exchanged pleasantries, shared a hug, and I was on my way. On Tuesday, I received another private message from Carmen. Smoke was leaking out of one of the joints in the elbow at the top of the pipe. Since I was already in town, I stopped at Canadian Tire and picked up a new elbow. On Wednesday, I stopped in again, and this time we worked as a team to replace the elbow. Her dog stayed in his kennel. We had to be quick because there was fire in the stove and we didn't want the cabin to fill up with smoke. Switch over to the new elbow was fairly quick. It took a fair while to apply the high-heat silicone to the joint between the single wall and insulated pipe because the silicone was cold and stiff. While waiting for it to warm up, we discussed a few things that Carmen wanted to do, but was not physically strong enough to do. So I offered to come back one more time. I was going to be late for my next job, so I had to hustle out, but not before I got another hug. Finally, on Thursday morning, I stopped in, cut the 4x4 to desired length, and pounded it into place to support the loft cross rail using my heavy hammer. Finished very quickly. All good. I was in a hurry again, so had to hustle. Carmen was now safe. This morning, I awoke at 5 a.m. and saw a message from Carmen. In hospital, good doctor. Work, dog, cabin heat? I told her not to worry. I would stop at hospital and get her key to check her cabin. Arrived at hospital. Carmen cannot speak. She struggles to talk, but words will not come out. Tears are running down her face. She has to communicate using her cell phone to type messages. She is booked for a CT scan in Hinton and an MRI in Edmonton. I get the key to her cabin and post "help needed" on my wall. Someone who will take a big inside dog while Carmen is in hospital. I head out to her cabin. I do not know how her dog will react, especially since Carmen is not home or with me. Just in case, I wear a heavy shirt jacket and a lined heavy denim jacket, along with very heavy leather gloves. As I open the door a crack, the dog is trying to get out, as he would if Carmen was there. But what if he gets away and I can't catch him? He does get out, goes bounding through the snow to do his morning constitutional. I let him run a bit, then call, and he comes. I get the leash hooked up on his choker. Now he wants to play. Starts jumping and nibbling on my arm. Very thankful for heavy sleeves and gloves. To keep a long story short, let me say that for the next hour I worked as hard as I ever have, just trying to keep him under control. Messages start coming in, and eventually Laurie Schmidt, my former grade 6 student from 1977, offers to take Gaius into her Falconhurst kennels at no charge until December 23rd, when every space is booked for the holidays. Again, to keep this short, when I arrive at the kennels, Gaius hears the other dogs, and I swear I could have used him for a skid horse in the logging business, with the power he used to pull me into that kennel. Oh, Gaius is a Shepherd Mastiff Cross. It is now noon, but no time to stop for lunch, as I have promised Bubba that I will deliver 2 parcels for Christmas. Bubba is working, but he told me where to look. Each parcel contains 5 frozen chickens, a package of hamburger, and a $100 Sobeys gift card. I deliver one out to a little place north of the Branch Inn. I put the frozen meat in her freezer. Carrie is very pleased with her Christmas parcel. She is on the phone, a borrowed phone, with Bell because her nearly new cell phone will not charge. I offer to drop her phone off at the Bell store. On my way there, I stop at a place of business in town to deliver a second Christmas parcel from Bubba. Pam is overwhelmed with his Christmas gift. Tears are shed, and I am the recipient of a hug. Lucky me. Next, I go to the Bell store, and Nicole Rumball tests the cell phone on her charger. The cell phone charges, so I purchase a new charger and cord and head back out to the Branch Inn corner to deliver cell, charger, and cord. Carrie is happy that family will now be able to call her for Christmas, as part of her family is in Mexico. I get a message from Carmen. She is on the way home from Hinton. Okay, that will take a while, so I stop for a burger. Around 3 p.m. she messages that she is back, so I head over to the hospital to give her a full report on her cabin and arrangements for Gaius. She is starting to speak with difficulty. I compliment her comeback. She recites A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3. She is learning to talk all over. I tell her to message if she needs anything. She holds up her phone and says, charger. No problem. I hustle back to the Bell store and get another charger and wire. Nicole is a sweetheart. Back to the hospital. Carmen is now set. It's 4 p.m. and I head for my job that I had booked for 9 a.m. north of Knighton. But I told them I would call when I finished getting Carmen settled down. I get the job done north of Knighton and head to pick up my mail. As I approach my mailbox, a tall, thin fella comes running towards me. It's dark. I have no idea. He says, my family is getting some food at the A&W. We were going to visit my brother. I couldn't pass up the opportunity to give you a Merry Christmas hug. Gord Dalluag is one of my former grade 6 students from about 23 years ago. My heart is very warm. So what is this gift, which is very difficult to give, yet may be the most useful? My friends, it is the gift of time. The Lord gave me a challenge last Sunday, and I believe I met His challenge today, on the last day of my 6th decade.